This mutation is called Warp Zone and it is being played on lock and load. We have 3 mutators active. We have Twister, we have Temporal Field, and we have Time Warp. A relatively straightforward set of mutators. It's no real... it doesn't really seem very difficult. Mastery-wise, Dehaka has gone for the Devour Healing, he's gone for the Pack Leader timing, and then he's gone for the Dehaka attack speed. And Abathur has gone for the Toxic Nest damage, Symbiotes, and a split into the Toxic Nest charges and the Morph and Evolution rate. So Dehaka is already out and good to go, so he's going to start working away onto this middle lock. So Dehaka works really well with Abathur, because what Abathur can do is put down some Toxic Nests, and then Dehaka can lure the enemy units into these Toxic Nests. Unfortunately, no Toxic Nests have come down so far, and now Dehaka is dealing with a bunch of Terran forces. So Dehaka is going to move forward here, just lure some of this stuff off. Unfortunately, Abathur's Toxic Nests do get pulled off by this. Dehaka has to go ahead and deal with this by himself right now, and these enemy units do get pulled back. And Dehaka will have to be careful to not get got by the Temporal Fields and Time Warps here. So unfortunately, Abathur was a little bit delayed in putting down the Toxic Nests, so that has significantly slowed down the progress through this mutation over here. But Dehaka is going to go ahead and try and poke in a little bit. Unfortunately, the Twister and the Time Warps are both blocking the way, so Dehaka will have to be a little bit careful before he goes to engage again one more time. And Dehaka is going to try again and just try and just poke away a little bit here. Again, very, very difficult without the backup of the Toxic Nest. The Toxic Nest should be placed in front of Dehaka's path here, so that he can actually go ahead and deal with this area. So Dehaka is going to take a jump in now. Fortunately, misses the jump and has to move back. And again, see, no Toxic Nest on this side, making it very difficult for Dehaka to get some value. So this was actually a decent hit here. He does get a little bit of essence and to be finishing up that Marauder. But again, they're a little bit out of range. The Siege Tank can hit somewhere around the site, so just having the nest a little bit out of range can allow you to get past that leashing distance. So Dehaka is going to jump in now and eat that one Marine, and slowly start picking off and try and luring some of these units over here to that Toxic Nest. But I think that Toxic Nest is a little bit, again, too far away. And no placement of the Toxic Nest, unfortunately, on Abathur's side as well, making this extremely complicated for Dehaka to go ahead and clear. These Toxic Nests now will be able to get a little bit of value from this. There's a Secret Missile who gets aggro onto one of these Locusts, which is kind of funny. And a Secret Missile onto Dehaka. 2 Secret Missiles on Dehaka. But one of those, only one of those end up hitting, and that'll be fine here. Dehaka is now good to go. There is a Roach. A total of 118 biomass has been dropped, so that should give Abathur the Mutalisks, the ultimate evolutions that he needs to start working away here. Dehaka is on this side, Brutalist Deep Tunnels across, and now they're going to end up cleaning up this this lock finally. And yeah, there we go. So the Ravens are not psionic, so as of this patch, the Ravens are not psionic, so Dehaka can't really eat them and get a lot of value out of them. But anyway, a total of 157 biomass has been dropped, so 32 biomass right now onto this Roach. I'm assuming is the case here. A few more Toxic Nests do get put down onto this ramp. That'll be able to deal with the second attack wave of this mission. There is one turret over here that is just been dropped by the Raven. Eventually that'll get picked off now. And yeah, Dehaka will be one basing, and he's putting down a bunch of Primal Worms to help assist him in the later stages of the game, because Dehaka is able to clear very, very quickly. So Dehaka's going to move in, get some vision, and now he will probably drop a Glevik, and maybe will, yeah. So Glevik comes down, and Glevik is going to take one shot right through the middle of the space, and this will essentially one-shot almost all the units over here. That's Glevik's job done clearing out the side. So there we go. And now Glevik is going to take a shot again here, just weakening his barracks. And now Dehaka wants to try and get a little bit more value out of his Glevik, so he's going to start working his way up here and deal a little bit of value from there. There is a deep tunnel across here now, and Glevik is going to take one more shot again through the middle. And again, this will be able to weaken some of the ghosts and take out some of the other enemy units on here. And now Dehaka can come in and start cleaning up the side. And now we have a few Zerglings over here that are a little bit harassing on here, but there we go. Glevik has timed out, or may have gotten killed actually by some of the units. Dehaka now is he's growing up relatively okay, and yeah, there we we go. So we do have a few more toxic nests on there. Where is the... Okay, so the Brutalisk is busy clearing out this this expansion here. But again, for the amount of time that it takes to complete this mission, it's probably not worth doing. It's probably not worth taking an expansion because Dehaka will be able to clean up this side next. Morvar is now ready and good to go. Dehaka just eats up the Raven just to make sure he doesn't get Secret Missile from the back when he's not really expecting it. And now we have Doctrine then coming out. And now Morvar is out, and I can't remember what the upgrade is that, or what the ability is that creates that the cloud, the blinding cloud ability. Dehaka jumps into the middle of this fray, and now Morvar, combined with the rest of her explosive creepers and Locust, are going to be able to deal a lot of damage towards this lock and start clearing out these enemy forces here. Dehaka is slowly starting to push through, and he is doing okay as well. And yeah, there we go. Dehaka will be pushing into this final lock here, and that will be that lock cleared. Dehaka has already put down a drone on this side to be able to cap this lock, and this area has been cleaned up with Dehaka and Morvar. So there we go. The area is essentially cleared. Now Dehaka is just going to start clearing out the enemy structures just to make sure that there are no enemy units that get produced from these. Because you can see these the starport here is actually making some stuff. So just go ahead and try and focus that down, make sure everything's cleared. And now we have just a jump in from some of these Gorilla Primal Worms. Unfortunately, Morvar has timed out, but Abathur is in position now to end up cleaning up these bunkers if he chooses to do so. So at the moment there is no Dehaka unit here, so Dehaka has to send a drone. This drone is on the way now, and Dehaka is going to make his way towards the next lock and start clearing out that side. So Dehaka's Doctrine's Den is now complete, so Doctrine is now also in play, and he'll be able to play now this. And yeah, there we go. So Abathur just pushes forward now, just cleans up some of these bunkers, waiting for Dehaka's drone to get to position. Now Dehaka is ready to go. So there we go, the drone has borrowed it now, and that lock will be captured. And I think Dehaka is going to try and start pushing into this next side. He has to wait for the other stuff. So Dehaka does use a bunch of worms to get into position. He does get pushed back because of the Twister, which is somewhat unfortunate there. And then eating up the Battlecruiser just to reduce the amount of damage that he's taking, that these structures end up taking. But he also gets a bit of a damage reflectability, which helps him clean up the rest of this enemy fortification here. So this side will be ending up clearing up. And again, the Science Vessel does not have a psionic tag, so that is very unfortunate. It does make it a little bit more difficult for Dehaka to push into Terran entrenchments. But this side has been done, and now there is an attack wave that is making its way towards the central lock. But this attack wave is moving in the path of Toxic Nest, and it tends to line up perfectly onto that nest. Ends up wiping out a big chunk of these units. This lock has now been cleared, and now Dehaka has deep tunneled across somewhere. I'm not really sure what happened over there. Might have been a reason for that. I think it might have been a Raven that started aggroing some of these drones, maybe? I'm not really sure what happened. Why the deep tunnel was across. But anyway, Dehaka and Doctrine, along with the two Brulisks, will start making their way towards the last and final locks as Doctrine jumps forward. Doctrine does get irradiated, but he just doesn't really care because those Science Vessels don't really deal a lot of damage when you have thousands of HP, as Doctrine has right now. So start intercepting this attack wave. Attack wave gets cleaned up, and now Glevig is out and good to go as well. So Dehaka can drop the Glevig down, and now instantly a Scorch Breath right down the middle of the enemy base, and that will end up wiping out a large number of units over here. There is a Hybrid Dominator. Dehaka jumps into the center, eats the Dominator up, essentially one-shotting with pretty much everything around him, and now there are only a bunch of Marines and a few structures, and that area is not going to be able to stand against Dehaka's forces. So there is another deep tunnel here from Glevig. Glevig is just going to provide just a little bit more damage, just take out these extra bunkers. And now Dehaka is basically jumping around and having some fun, cleaning out everything else here. Brutalisk deep tunnel across. Dehaka is now in position to cap that lock. And over here, this lock is getting capped by a drone and an Overlord. So that is pretty much all the locks captured in this mission. And this mutation, like I said, it's been very, very straightforward. They're not really impactful mutators because none of the enemy units are stronger. You just have to just pay attention, carry a little harder. Yeah, there we go. But that is all 5 locks done, and that is GG.